So these were reported earlier for Kenya, Egypt, and South Africa. So you can see that Kenya is coming very strongly. Almost every year they have a CMCs that they are submitting. So if we were to look at the past 5 years, these are the NMIs that have benefited or that have published their CMCs. The biggest beneficiator was the Egypt in a number of parameters: in density, fluid flow, in hardness, in torque, and mass measurement. We had Morocco also publishing in fluid flow and in mass standard. Kenya in force, in mass, and in fluid flow. South Africa in mass, and then Ethiopia in fluid flow. Currently, we have Tanzania and Botswana that have submitted their CMCs that we are currently reviewing. For Tanzania, it is in the fluid flow, volume of liquids, and for Botswana is in mass standards. I'm hopeful that by the end of this week, the Tanzania one will move down to inter-RMO. I think we have been in constant engagement or discussions with Tanzania to make sure that it is indeed finalized and it's moved into inter-RMO. The one that is listed here under JCRB review for Egypt, it is worrying us because this is the CMCs that they have submitted sometime in 2023. They were reviewed and there were comments made where they were supposed to update, and unfortunately, even up to today, there is no response. So I don't know what we're going to do about situations like that, because they appear as hanging in the database like that until we do something about them. And unfortunately, you cannot withdraw. It's either you resubmit the information that we have resubmitted and let the other RMO decide. But it is one of those that also the JCRB is concerned about, where people are taking too long to make revisions when they are requested. So in our case, it's those two from Egypt. This is the summary of the NMIs that currently have the CMCs in the database for various parameters. South Africa in mass and force, then we have in fluid flow, we have pressure. Currently, we don't have any in density and viscosity, but Egypt has for all the parameters. Then we have Kenya in mass, in force, and in fluid flow. Zimbabwe in mass, Namibia in mass also, Morocco in mass and fluid flow, and Ethiopia, as I indicated, in fluid flow. So we are making a very good progress, because we can see almost all the members and the associate members now do have some CMCs. Obviously, to do all these things, you need to make sure that you are capacitating your people or the staff that is responsible for these activities. So one of the activities that we embark on is the training, hands-on and theoretical, but majority of those currently are happening at our sub-RMO levels. And I think we were tasked this time around to say it need not to end at the sub-RMO, but we need to have projects at AFRIMETS level. And I think later on we'll give a presentation on that. So this just demonstrates one of those that we recently undertook. Was the course that we had for the SADC-MET for the uncertainty of measurements. I've put it here because in our discussion it came as one of the issues, especially from the ECOMET region, where they're saying they need such training. Below here you have the colleagues from the region and in the pressure laboratory on hands-on practical, training. I think it is colleague from Zimbabwe and Zambia, if I recognize the faces. So those are some of the things that we are supporting and encouraging. And on the side here, we have the Regional Meteorology Conference that is mainly coordinated by Kenya, that we want to encourage everyone to participate in. This is not just a conference, but it's also capacity development. It's an opportunity for those who are doing some development to present their work there, to get comments from the peers and comments, and also to demonstrate the relevance of the work that they are doing within their laboratories. Some more good news. Kenya is a new member of the working group of the CCM working group for Mars. It's a new member of the CCM working group for density and viscosity. This was confirmed in the last meeting that we had on the 27th of June in Paris last month. This indeed, it's a milestone for us, because now we're going to have more than one voice in these committees. I think we should also give them a big round of applause. Unfortunately, my friend Dominic is not here. We would have done the way they do it in Kenya. Do you know it, Dr. Rotish? The 5. Yeah, hence I'm asking if you know the 5 Victoria. Because we need somebody to lead us, but we can forget about that one. Thank you. Okay. Yes, that's the 5 Victoria that I expected from Kenya. But it only works well when, you have those that has the experience in it. Okay, so the CCM meetings and working group meetings are a platform which we use, to stay informed on international progress that is related to dissemination and emerging challenges after the redefinition of the kilogram. If you remember, the kilogram was redefined in terms of the Planck's constant, and there was a map that was put in, or roadmap that was put in place to say, because currently there were challenges, we are not yet traceable to the Planck's constant. There had to be there were some activities that were put in place to say we need to 1, 2, 3 until we get to that level where we have independent realization. So this is where we also getting the progress from. We also get updated on the current development that we are having in mass and related quantities. We get to align our and collaborate our international equivalents, because if you remember, for us to register key comparison, those has to be aligned directly with the ones that are coordinated at the CC level. So participation in those forums is very critical, otherwise you end up with misalignments. So even the priorities that we decide to do research on and technical development, sometimes we can get assistance from the other region. I think you have seen even from Ephraim presentation indicating our participation in other RMOs. Those are some of the things that we do, strengthen the relationship with other regional meteorology organizations. And as a TCM, we are going to participate in QMET GA in October this year. And we are also going to participate in the SIM on the 15th of August this year. So we have been invited, and they want to know more about us, and they want to collaborate with us. Our current structure has not changed since last year. We made changes, and this is how it looks. Currently, I'm still the chair, assisted by Dr. Wilson from Kenya and Dr. Ahmed from Egypt. And we also have chairs for different working groups because our group is very big. We have a group responsible for density, viscosity, force and torque, and hardness. We have free flow, we have mass, we have pressure and vacuum. But I should just emphasize that for one to be a chair of those, you need to be at least a member of a CC working group so that you can disseminate the information accordingly. Challenges. Unfortunately, we do not have enough pool of technical experts to review our CMCs. In mass and related quantities, I don't know how many times a month we get requests to do reviews. So there's always requests from other RMO, but unfortunately, we do not have enough experts to do the reviews, and we're relying on, I think it's mainly 3 NMIs currently, and not all of them are very active. And if we accept to review and we do not complete the reviews, it does not reflect well on us also. So it's a serious challenge, and it is a burden for those that have decided that they will do the reviews. Okay, the other challenges we are having, especially from the meeting we had Monday, was the issue of language barriers. And it was a big issue where we have somebody next to me speaking French and I don't understand French, and they don't understand English, and we do not even have translators. It compromises the effectiveness of the meetings, unfortunately. If we do not have translators and people are just in there, we are having meetings in English and our friends, colleagues are not hearing a thing. When they get home and they are asking them, what did you discuss or what was the resolution, they have nothing to say. The other biggest challenge we have seen, and which also affects the efficiency and consistency in our meeting, is the attendance, where every time, well, it's good when we have new people, but it's not necessarily good if the new people do not necessarily have any information about what we have been doing. Then they want to keep on sending us back to the things that we might have done 2-3 years ago or a month ago, because they are new. They're coming up with their challenges. The challenges we try to address, maybe like in this case, in our session, we always have what you may refer to as a workshop of some sort, where we identify specific areas and we give presentation in relation to those. And if you miss them, the next time when we are supposed to move a little, a step further, and you are taking us back, it's not assisting. But it becomes more problematic if even our working group chairs are missing our meetings. And when you interact or are asking them, all of them will tell you it's an issue of budget, not necessarily getting adequate support from their mother bodies or their organization. And that unfortunately affects the progress or the efficiency of our meetings, and the activities that we're supposed to do suffers as well. Other challenges, as you heard from Ephraim's presentation, purchasing of comparison artifacts. I think this we have raised before. Currently, we're mainly relying on donations from the NMIs that have the equipment, because if we want to run a comparison, usually there is an artifact that we need to circulate, but most of the time we do not necessarily have the artifacts, and then we have to rely on those that have the money, more than one artifact that they can borrow, but that becomes an issue, especially if you take the instrument that the organization still needs and you put it into circulation, and you know there are risks that it might get lost. So the issue is not just about the comparison artifacts. We also have issues about the movement of the artifacts between the countries themselves. I think last year I've indicated that one of the comparison artifacts which was supposed to move from Mauritius to DRC, it gets lost in France, which is a pity. And some artifact got stuck for a number of years in other countries. So those are big problems, because for comparison to complete within the time frame that we put, it needs free access or easy access between the countries. And that's basically it from my side. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Mautjana. We'll ask Mr. Koza.
Good afternoon. Just for a quick introduction, my name is Michael Koza from NIMISA. I'm a metrologist in electricity and magnetism. I'm the chair of AFRIMETS TCM. Okay, we had our own discussions in our TCE meetings from Monday and then Tuesday afternoon. And then we discussed some of the issues. So this presentation will be the reflection of the decisions that we have taken. We discussed about the CMC reviews. There are two categories of CMC reviews. There are CMCs that are submitted by our own RMO. And then in our case, in our RMO, we have CMCs that are submitted by NIST. All those CMCs, we reviewed them internally, and they were reviewed by other RMO, and they were successfully published. And then we have got CMCs from Kenya. We reviewed them internally. And then for other RMO to review them so that they can be published, the process is still ongoing. And then we have got the CMCs from Ethiopia. We reviewed them internally, and then from the JCB out, then they've completed the review and the CMCs are published. So those for intra-CMC reviews, we have got 3 NMIs that they've submitted their comparisons. 2 of them published the CMCs, and 1 is still on progress. Because we have to engage with other international players, we also to review their own CMCs. We reviewed CMCs from CALFMET, and we reviewed them and we completed them on time. And then we reviewed CMCs from Euramet. We completed them on time. We reviewed the CMCs from SIM. The CMC were completed on time. Currently, we are busy with the CMC reviews from APNP. For completed comparisons, for the past few years, we undertook some comparisons. We started in 2017. We piloted a comparison in the RF discipline, and then we completed that comparison, and the report was published. The second one in 2017, we piloted a comparison on resistance standards, and then we completed on time, and then the results are published. The third one in 2022, we did the comparison again on the resistance standards. You can see that the artifacts or the values are the same. Just that the other one is a follow-up. And then we managed to complete the comparison on time, and the report was published. The third one, we did the comparison on a digital multimeter, 6.5 digits. Then the results are published in the KCB database. So if you want all the reports, you can download them at the KCDB platform. Comparison in progress. Currently, we are busy with 2 comparisons. The first one is for high resistance. That comparison is already started. We've registered it in the KCDB. The measurements are in progress. For high resistance, we have got 5 members in our own RMO. We have got 2 members from outside our RMO. 1 member from Euramet, the other one is from APNP. I think this one shows the reflection of the work that we are doing to show that our work has been recognized internationally. Then another work that we are busy with the high voltage comparison, AC and DC voltages. That one we are busy finalizing the protocol. As soon as it is finished, it will be registered. And then for next year, we are planning to roll up the AC power and energy comparison. And then those are the members. So I think for high voltage and AC power and energy, if there is anyone that wants to join, the door is still open. We established a working group to come up with a document that will guide us, our members, how to submit CMCs. The main purpose of that document is to highlight or streamline those evidence that were easily accepted to support your CMC. What documents or what type of evidence is required to support your CMC? So the draft document is still in progress. We have got 4 members who are working on that document. Dr. Rasha from NIST is the project leader. We have got Marcus from NIMISA. Then we have got Abdella from Morocco. And then we have got Dr. Ala from NIS. Last year we had some elections. There were some changes on our leadership. I was elected as the chair of the committee. We have 2 vice chairs. The first one is Dr. Rasha from NIS. And then the second one, vice chair, is Dr. Ala from NIST. And then we have got our secretary, Marcus from NIMISA. While I'm still on that one, I just want to take this opportunity because our previous chair was Mr. Alex Makewani. He's the one that was leading us all those years. I just want to take this opportunity to show some appreciation for his work, some leadership, some guidance. So he's retiring by the end of this month. So with that way, I know you've been clapping for other things. I just want you to clap for my boss. No, thank you. We just wish Alex for a good retirement. Without him, all those CMCs that we completed, some NMIs published CMC, some they use their results to get accreditation. So those are some of his achievements during his tenure. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Koza. With the three presentations that we have, do we have any questions? The floor is open. If there are no questions from the online participants, do we have questions? Or comments? Not only questions, but comments as well. None. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. The next presentations, they will come from the following technical committees. TCQS, Mrs. Lerato Tatamala, TC Length, then TC Legal. TCQS, TC Length, TC Legal. Then after the three, we will have questions or comment. Please write down your questions or comments so that you can remember them when all three are done. Thank you.
Good afternoon. As already introduced, my name is Lerato Ntatamala from the NMISA. I'm here to present the work for the TCQS that transpired from last year, July until now. So I'm presenting on behalf of our chairperson, Dr. Noah. She's participating online. So we had our meeting on the 21st and in the morning of the 22nd. It was a TCQS open meeting. So in the meeting we had 31 participants, both participating in person and some online. So they're all from 12 NMIs and DIs from 16 countries. So like I indicated, we had 20 participants who participated in person, and then 11 they were online. So on the same day in the morning, on Monday, on the 21st, we had a closed session meeting for the steering committee where 5 members attended from 4 NMIs. In the meeting that I'm referring to, in the closed session, it was attended by Dr. Noah, the chairperson from NIS, and myself, Lerato, the vice chairperson from the NMISA, and also serving in the role of secretariat. And then we had invited members, Dr. Rotich from CAPS, Ms. Omaya from INREP, and Ms. Grace Ateka from CAPS. So from the 31 participants that attended, we had 14 NMIs and DIs from 12 countries. And then we also had countries with no TCQS approved QS. This one is the reason that maybe I presented to the executives that we do open opportunities for those countries that do not have the approved quality system, but they are willing. So we take them through the process, and then some we even allow them to put together the presentation based on the templates that we use. So from 5 countries, we had 5 people who joined. And then also out of the group, we had 1 country with an expired approved quality system. And then we've also had observers from 5 countries. So out of the NMIs that has the approved quality system, we have Egypt, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Namibia, South Africa, Botswana. I will highlight on that. And then we also have Tunisia on their 2 DIs, INRAP and DEFNAT. We have Morocco, Tanzania, Kenya, Ethiopia, and then I've included Ghana there because we are here. I don't want them to kick us out. So they don't have an approved quality system. However, they are planned to be evaluated next week. They're going to have the initial evaluation next week. So that's why I put them there, because they are in progress. So on the countries that we're observing, we had observers from Benin, Ivory Coast, Nigeria, Malawi, Uganda, and they also had an opportunity to present. And then we had also from the National Agency of Metrology in Tunisia. They were our observers. And then now I just want to cover like the QS updates, the feedback from JSRB, and the updates on the official representatives and reviewers list. And then the presentations that were made, firstly from the BIPM members with approved QMS. We have presentation report from the NMISA. It was presented by myself, Lerato. And we also had presentation from Egypt, presented by Dr. Noha. Presentation from CAPS, presented by Grace Ateka. Presentation from INRAP by Somaya. And then under the CGPM associates, we have the approved QMS.
Good day online, please.
Sorry about
mute.
that. We had reports from Namibia. Namibia, the representative is Masiku. So these are the presentations that I presented them because they reported. So I just presented them in their absentia. And then I've also presented for the report from Zimbabwe. The representative is Inos. And then presentation from Zambia was presented by Mr. Frederick Hamutunda. And then Mr. Nyambe is the representative of the country. So I put others there under Botswana, which is represented by Ntate Kajane. I think it's attending online today. On this one, we have issues. We have the QMS that is no longer valid. That's why I highlighted it like that. And then, as I've already alluded, we had an initial presentation for Ghana as they are preparing for their initial evaluation on the 28th and 29th July. So maybe just to stress something on this one, when we review and evaluate the QMSs for the NMIs and DIs, the reason is for them to be able to submit their CMCs. CMCs are supported by approved quality system. So without quality system, we can't be able to do that. And again, it gets to a point where it expired. It is only valid for 5 years. And within the 5 years, you can use the letter to submit your CMCs. And then after that, it's no longer valid. We have to do the re-evaluation. So when I get to the bottom of my presentation, I'll also speak to that. So we also have a list of official representatives, meaning that we don't want to get to a point wherein we want to contact the NMI or the DI and there is no representative. Maybe the people left, we don't get hold of anybody. That's where there are some information that will just fall in cracks. And then at the end of the day, they don't comply. So we annually review the list from participants, so that it's important to also know from your countries, from your NMS and DIs, who are your representatives, so that if they leave, you can replace and contact us. And then we also have the list of reviewers. This list again, like I indicated, that we conduct the evaluations for the QMS. So we need reviewers to do that. And then also on the technical side, there are some technical experts from NMIs that we need to assist to review. And then based on the CMCs that they have in their own NMIs, because they can't evaluate and assess the capabilities that they don't have, it's not going to serve purpose. So we do need this list updated all the time. And then this is feedback from the JCRB on the TCQS steering committee. I've realized from the first two presentations for TC mass and TC temperature, they've indicated the issues of the delays in completing some of the CMC's reviews, wherein this was discussed in the 48th JCRB meeting. It was raised as a concern by the BIPM that there are those CMCs that stay forever on the systems. The review doesn't get completed. It's either the people, maybe the writers who submitted resigned or they left the organizations and then there's no replacement for them to proceed and finalize this. Or some decide to abandon without informing the committee. And then there's another one that I think it was mentioned by Thomas, wherein you found that you submit, you pass the RMO intra, and then when it gets to the inter, it is reviewed by other RMOs. And then even AFRIMETS has an opportunity to review others as well. So in this case, once they're reviewed, make some comments. That should be not always the case, but in case where there are comments that needs to be addressed by the writers, they have to be addressed and then sent back. But some of them are not addressed and then they hinder the process to be completed. That's why BIPM raised that. And the same applied on the comparisons. There are some incomplete comparisons that were left hanging for some times. And then there is a register that is sent to all RMOs. And then we also received an AFRIMETS register with such comparisons. Unfortunately, we addressed them while we're here, and then we sent the responses back of why we had those delays and the plan going forward of how to deal with those. And then, like I've indicated, that our QMS, they get reviewed, and after 5 years, they get re-evaluated again. So this is a list of what is due for review. For Egypt, in 2026, we'll be reviewing. South Africa, again, we'll be reviewing in 2026. Kenya, 2026. Tunisia, DEFNA, 2026. So I highlighted INRAP. INRAP, the re-evaluation is ongoing, is in process. However, there are issues. There are financial challenges. They need support so that they can be able to finance the reviewers. So this is the challenge that is causing some delays, because I think they are somewhere where they were looking forward to. However, a portion of the projects that they do is the one that is funded. But for reviewing the technical, for funding the technical reviewers is still a challenge. So that's why I highlighted this one in red. And then for Morocco, again, the review is in progress, in process, but we are stuck as you can see, Morocco is French-speaking country, and then we have challenges because the reviewers are the English-speaking country. I think it was also indicated by TCMAS. So we're unable to get a translation of those submissions to English so that we can be able to. So we are bringing this up here because we need help. We need help from those people who can translate from French to English. Also looking at the technical expertise, the physical expertise that we need from their physical labs. And then someone can say, but you have Somaya, they speak French. Yes, but they are only experts in the chemistry side. So we're unable to work on the physical, so we need help. And then if there's anything maybe that you can assist us with, you can contact Dr. Noah or myself. And then the next one is Zambia. Their re-evaluation is due in 2027, Zimbabwe in 2028, Namibia 2027, Ethiopia 27, Tanzania is 2029, because I think they are the last to be reviewed on the list of these countries. So I highlighted Botswana here, like I've already indicated, their status of their system is no longer approved. It is out of approval. It has expired. So the committee recommended that they grey out their CMCs. These are the rules of the CIPM MRA. When you don't have a supporting valid QMS approval letter, you have to grey out your system until you get that right, and then you apply as an initial application. And then Ghana, I've already alluded that they are under review. And then my last slide here, these are the office bearer for 25-26. Our chairperson is Dr. Noah, and then I am the vice chairperson, Leraton Tatamala. And then we have Somaya to assist with ISO 17034. Because for all these other work that I've been presenting that we have approved, they were approved against the ISO 17025 2017-18 version. So there is still ISO 17034. So this one we are assisted by Somaya because it is for the production of reference materials, the certified reference materials, and then also to assist us in French-related documents, but the general ones, like our guidelines for conducting the QS, she assisted. And then we have Grace Ateka. She assists us on the English work that needs to be done. And then at the moment, Secretariat, we have Dr. Guda Mohammed. Someone can ask, like, Lara, to introduce yourself at the Secretariat when you started. Yes, I was working with him. I still assist when he's not around. And then thanks to Grace, she also assisted in this role for this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Tatamala. I'll ask TC Length.
Good morning in Accra. Okay. Yes. So my name is Bernhard Ganda. I will be representing TC Length. I don't know, lawyer. There are some technical problems with the presentation. If we are through, you can tell me to continue. Now done, okay? Yeah. Maybe you can drive the slides for me because it's not responding. Yeah, it's not working. It's now. Yeah, here we are. That's what I will be looking at in my presentation. Our technical committee for length meets usually annually, and our last meeting was on 21 July 2025, and we had 12 committee members, 6 attended online, and 6 in person. During our discussions, we noted that length has over 100 instrument and artifact types. So we discussed about structuring length activities to better coordinate activities. So the committee agreed to form some working groups, starting with 2 working groups to divide those activities over 100 activities, so that as to share the workload amongst the committee members. So as the starting point, we looked at those services that are common to most of the NMIs in AFRIMETS, and we identified 2 groups of services in linear dimensions and hand instruments. So the first group, linear dimensions, comprises a lot of services like line standards, end standards, and diameter standards. And then there is also a large group on hand instruments, which has mics, verniers, dial gauges, and so on. So we started by trying to form those 2 groups so that they can have some leadership. Now we elected 2 members to lead the 2 working groups. The first working group will be led by Patrick from NMI South Africa, and the second working group will be led by Kelvin from KEBS. And there is the TC secretary. Kelvin was the TC secretary, so he was replaced by Natasha from ZNME. And I was elected the chair of the committee. So in our new structure, we now have two vice chairs, a chair and a secretary. We also discussed comparisons. We had protocols that were being developed. We reviewed 5 protocols, and 4 of them were approved for publication after the discussions. But there's still another one that was approved, but it was only approved for publication after a further circulation and discussions and approval from members. So the protocols that were approved are on height gauges. This one is being piloted by ZMA. This protocol was revised to include additional participants, and it just now awaits registration in the KCDB. We have a protocol on gauge blocks by mechanical probing. NMISA are the pilot for this one. It was approved and awaits registration, but registration will only occur after purchasing of artifacts. We currently do not have the artifacts for this comparison. So NMISA are leading in trying to purchase the artifacts for this comparison. We also have a 2-point internal micrometer protocol. Additional applicants, participants were added, and it also awaits registration. And we also have depth gauge. These 2 are being piloted by CABS, Kenya. We do have ongoing comparisons for line scales, tape measures, and steel rules. These 2 are in one protocol. We discussed the protocol. The comparison is already ongoing, but the members agreed that we should revise the protocols so that we can follow some CCL guidelines and then try to register the protocols in the KCDB. We also have a comparison that was running, that is actually in fact running, but it's on its completion. It's gauge blocks by interferometry. NMI South Africa, the pilot measurements are complete, and the first report is projected for 2026. That's the first draft. We do have NMIs that are credited, 7 NMIs that are internationally recognized in length through accreditation. We also have some NMIs that are peer reviewed by AFRIMETS in length. We have currently 8 CMCs, 4 from TBS, 4 from SIRDC. These are under intra-RMO review. We also have 6 new CMCs that were published this year, 2 from CABS and 4 from ZMA. We do not have CMCs that are under JCRB review. So the total number of CMCs that we have currently are 55. Last year we had 49. We have 4 countries that have CMCs, South Africa, Egypt, Kenya, and Zambia. We also have a pool of CMC reviewers, 6 of them. These are the reviewers that have accounts for reviewing CMCs. But as I have already said, the length services is a lot of instrument types. We have actually 6 classes, 29 service categories, and over 100 instrument types and measurements. So we still require more reviewers to share the workload. On R&D projects and training, we have a workshop that is planned to be hosted by Namibia. The workshop is on setting up of angle calibration systems. It is planned for 2025, and the convener, NMI South Africa, is currently in discussion with PTB for approval of sponsorship. So this project initially was for only SADC members, but it was later expanded to include AFRIMETS NMIs. We also do have a tape tunnel upgrade project. TBS and CABS are involved in this, but we are still awaiting some shipment of components for the project to progress. During our meeting, we also discussed some training needs, and we identified some training needs for our members, and these are on interlaboratory comparisons like planning, piloting, protocol writing, analysis, report writing, and so on. And also some members expressed some challenges in ILC registration and CMC writing, because last year actually we had 7 interlaboratory comparisons that were published. So NMIs could have used those to register some CMCs in the KCDB, but they were facing some challenges. So we identified that as one of the training needs. And we also identified some training needs on calibration of specific types of equipment. So on the training needs, these were forwarded to the TC chairs workshop, and Thomas, who was the chair of the TC chairs, will maybe touch on that later in his presentation. And a special thanks to PTB for the continued support of TC length activities and projects. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. We'll call the next one TC Legal. TC Legal.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. To be a brief presentation on legal metrology on TC Legal. Mr. Chair, we had a meeting on Monday as TC Legal where we had reviewed the performance of the committee in the last 1 year. You can proceed, please. Next page, a slide. That is a current structure of the TC Legal. The chairperson, Mr. Humphrey Coven, the vice chairperson, Dr. Strigna Bedu Ado, and the secretariat is Mr. Ivan Willis. And in various structures across the continent of Africa, the SRMOs, those are the current leadership which we're looking at. Now, we'll take you directly, Chair, to the resolutions. Can you move, please? Excellent. Okay, so the first resolution from the meeting we had was to express our gratitude to the Ghana Standards Authority for graciously holding the TC Legal meeting we had on Monday. And then also we extend our appreciation to the OIML for their continued support, partnership, and participation in the development of legal metrology across Africa. Also, just to confirm the change in leadership, TC Legal confirms the appointment of Mr. Humphrey Coven as chairperson, Dr. Strigna Bedu Ado as vice chairperson, Mr. Ivan Willis as secretariat. The committee would like to thank and appreciate the immediate past chair, Engineer John Paul Musmami, for his leadership and contribution to AFRIMETS TC Legal. And all further would like to thank the new office bearers for graciously accepting to serve the new offices. The other matter, Chair, TC Legal refers a matter of the member countries belonging to multiple SRMOs to EXCO for clarity or guidance in respect to participation and voting rights. Chair, the fifth resolution, TC Legal has established an organizing committee to begin planning for the Pan-African Legal Conference, Metrology Conference. This committee is drawn members from various countries, but to include the TC Legal chairperson, vice chairperson, secretariat, and Uganda, who got experience in organizing such an event. TC Legal also requests SRMOs across the continent, please to nominate individuals to serve in the existing 5 working groups. That is education and capacity building, legal metrology awareness and advocacy, policy and legislation, and harmonization of prepackaged commodities and measuring instruments, and submit these names and nominations by 1st August to the Secretariat, so that the team will start immediate working. Also, which is a new thing, Chair, which will help, the thing that will help us to resolve the matters of oversight. The committee resolved to be holding quarterly oversight meetings. These are very, very important for us to monitor the working of the working groups, and then also ensure that we don't wait until next year to look at the matters which are behind. So on a quarterly basis, we review the work, put in the interventions, and resolve the matters as they occur within the year. Chair, just the highlights of the issues we're working on as a committee. One, we're looking at digital metrology initiatives, which has been driven by Uganda and from EMET. The things to do with internet, data and airtime, and capacity building in that regard. Further, Chair, we're looking at the matter to do with harmonization of prepackaged commodities and training on electricity meters. We'll be getting later a report from Sadiq Mail. The training had already started, support from PTB. All the 16 countries have been trained. So now this want to extend it to the rest of Africa, that all the 54, 55 countries in Africa must harmonize on prepackaged commodities in line with the OML recommendations. We're working on also on legislation, which we've done an exclusive, a detailed paper, which we will share later if there's no time for us to present, on how we can look at the legislation and harmonize it in Africa by coming up with a standard legislation minimum that will be able to deliver the requirements of metrology. We like to express also concern, and this we are working on already in the background of 2 SRMOs. We've already identified the leadership in there, whom we are going to bring on board so they start running with us. Thank you so much, Chair. Meda ase Papa, asante sana. Shukran. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Nkobeni. That was quick and wonderful. Any questions for TCQS, TC length, and TC legal? Any questions or comment? Online, on the floor? Yes, Doctor.
Yeah, just because there was a comment, I think, from TCL on CMC review, CMC writer training. So I just want to remind you that we offer the training for the CMC writers and reviewers twice a year, always at 2 different times so that everybody around the world can join. And I highly recommend these trainings because we also do surveys on the KCDB, and it turns out that the people that never attended the training sometimes do have difficulties to make the submission. So it's not very complicated, and there's a lot of guidance online, but it's still a platform which is meant for experts. So you might have to, if you submit for a first time, you might have to get some instructions. So we encourage everybody to join these trainings completely free of charge. You find them on our website, the next dates. And we also, this year, we had for the first time a similar training specifically for TC chairs, because they have different challenges on the KCDB. And we are currently working on also a course for interlaboratory comparisons for the pilots to submit the reports and so on. So please make sure to check our website. Normally we share the information through the RMO secretariats as well, and sign up for the courses, especially the CMC writer course, because it's of course the largest group of users of the KCDB.
Thank you, Dr. Anna. We'll take the question online first. Mr. Kajani.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair, for the opportunity to comment and ask questions where relevant. The first one is in relation to TCQS, but mine is just a comment. From SADC-MET point of view, we submitted a resolution that has come from SADC-MET. However, we have been advised to formalize it accordingly for it to pass through the TCQS steering committee, which is fine with me. However, I wanted to direct this particular comment to the chair of AFRIMETS, Dr. Rotich, that I think it's important that when you meet at party level, let's consider some of the documents that are developed by other party structures like AFRAC, because some of the documents that they are developing borders on what TCQS is doing, and henceforth I would really appreciate if they could be considerate to look into such documents. The reason why I'm raising this, Madam Chair, is because you will appreciate that we have what you call peer review, and we have accreditation assessments, which basically is a way of double standards as well as quite expensive. So AFRAC, I think, is developing a document that is looking at engaging an assessor who will also be deemed a peer reviewer from TCQS point of view, so that it will not make it expensive as it is right now. That was a comment passing by it in any case. I wanted to make sure that I'm representing SADC very well so that tomorrow they don't say I didn't say it. The second one, in short, is directed to TC Legal. We appreciate that from scientific space, they have different TCs. And I want to believe the same may apply to TC Legal. Why don't they have such TCs, different TCs, looking at different matters within legal metrology? Because I want to believe if they consider it in that way, it will be able to assist them, especially with regard to attendance of legal metrology, metrologists, and other heads of metrology, legal metrology. So this is a question to say, why don't you consider that going forward, something that is even done at SADC level, whether they have different TCs for different matters or for different interventions. Thank you, Madam Chair.
I'll give Mr. Ngoben to respond to that.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kajane, for that intervention. Thank you, Chair. Okay, so we've taken note of that proposal to set up TCs within legal metrology. In fact, that is the focus we have now. But we wanted, first of all, to put our house in order. That's what we reported to Chair even yesterday. So we are mobilizing all the 54 countries within this month. And then we start working and looking at what we're working on as work groups to be reviewing them on a total basis. And then once we are stabilized, I think 6 months, we can now start looking at formation of TCs, which we can present to the EXCO. So we're looking at that, but we need to have things which are actually working and are producing results. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Kajane. We'll have the next, you want to respond?
Yeah, not responding per se, just to clear and add something. When we reported on the approved QMSs, where the countries presented their reports, we also had the reports from Ethiopia that was also presented in absentia. And then we also had another report from Tanzania that was presented by Madam Stella. So those are a few things that I wanted to cross over. And then some that are presented, they don't have approved QMS, but like I said, we give them opportunity. We also have Uganda, they presented, and then they were uploaded because they used to come and just observe and watch. But this time, they prepared a presentation, same format as other approved QMSs, and then that's what we encouraged others to also do in future. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll ask.
Thank you so much. My comment was on the TCQS report, where she missed some of the country which was attended the meeting and give their presentation on their NMI status. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Stella. The next question is from Philippa online. Sorry, I can just see the name Philippa. Excuse me if that's...
Thank you, Madam Chair. It's just an observation to the key TCPS. I saw that there is members and the observers. I want to know in which case of what are the criteria which can classify an affiliate member as an observer in the technical committee. And what are the criteria to be member of QS, TCQS? And in my report, I submitted it as a country report. There was an advice that as the AFRIMET, we need to think on the mutual recognition with regard to the AFRICFTA, and I urge the AFRIMET president to look how we can prepare a project which can facilitate the peer review, just peer review for all.
The first question is what qualifies AFRIMET's member to be an associate or a permanent member in the technical committee?
I don't know if the online participants are still there. I would like Dr. Noah to take this one. And then maybe on the other part of it, Linda, can you hear me? Philbert? I think they have network issues. Maybe what I can say on this one, Rwanda submitted the presentation, and then that were in absentia, I think due to connections and other things, and I think he's not in his country at the moment, because upon realizing that, I personally followed up with him that I received your report, I analyzed your report, and then there are some issues where he was showing interest on the submission and the review of the QMS. So I said to him that I will check with him maybe next week, and then we'll take it from there. So the other part for the qualification of one to be an associate, I don't know if Chair can respond to that, or Dr. Noah, if you can hear me, please respond to that. Is he still there? Dr. Noah, please step in.
I just would like to be clear for this comment about how one of the members are observed for the work of the technical committee of quality system, because they doesn't have CMCs in the region, and they don't have accepted quality system covering it. So the technical committee of quality system is working according to the requirement of the CIPM MRA for the countries which are member of the CIPM or associate to the CGPM. For those members and the associate, when they would like to have their capabilities into the system to be recognized, they have to get their quality system to be accepted. Also, he has a proposal for a project for the quality system revision for all the countries. It is very good idea, but the country should have the intention to publish CMCs, to think about having their quality system be revised and approved, because this approval has a time limit, 5 years, and then it must go through another review each 5 years. So there is no benefit coming to the country to review their quality system if they are not intending to publish their CMCs on the database of the KCDP. I hope my point is clear. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Noah. The other question is that what makes the country associating? Oh, she has answered. Thank you. The next question is from Ramadan Mfaume.
Thank you, Madam Chair, for giving me this chance. Actually, my question goes to the, if I am mistaken, I think it's the mass accelerated quantity C, which was made by Thomas. On his presentation, he finally said that one of the challenges that they face is the lack of pool of technical experts for the CMC review. So my question maybe will go to AFRIMETS chair. Do we have any plan on to build capacities for the NMIs so that to get the experts who will be in this pool of assessors or pool of technical assessors to do this CMC review? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. I think from the information that was given by BIBM, Dr. Spionga, there are plans to help in this area. Some are online trainings, which doesn't require money. And I think as NMIs, we also seek for opportunities where you can also get your people to be trained. So I think we need concerted effort as NMIs. You identify your immediate needs so that when there are opportunities, you can also be able to utilize them. And I think in the morning, there was what was mentioned, was it when she was saying we have not optimized the opportunity. So if you're an associate member and you can be able to file your CMCs, but you are not doing it, maybe the issue you are looking at is something like a quality system review, which at the AFRIMETS, there is even the option of doing it online. So you are not optimizing. If we're having movement of artifacts and they get stuck in a country, yet you are part of the government, and you can go to the customs and make prior arrangements. I'm sure most of the countries are members of, we call it what, World something customs. Some are signatories, and you can actually check on that. So those are the initiatives that you can be able to do. Because if an artifact that is being used for a comparison, maybe piloted by AFRIMETS, gets stuck in the country for 1 year, it becomes a bit of a challenge. So I think what we are saying is we are looking for all opportunities. A number of these days you can be able to get these trainings online. So I think that's what we need to do. We don't have to say we don't have resources, but we'll see, can we be able to get the same so that we can be able to get the training when we are there. We talk of being a learning institution, meaning there are resources which are already available for free, and therefore you can make your people to use them. I think that's what I'll say for now.
Thank you very much. I have two general questions and a specific one. And the first one is, forgive me for my ignorance, maybe just to understand, when we talk about a quality system that's expired, what does that mean? I'm struggling to equate it to a certification or that's expired rather than a quality system that's expired. But maybe there's a better, I just seek to understand what that means. The second one goes to our priorities, and this is to all the technical committees. I struggled through the presentation to pick out what our priorities are, where we are. We had the information regarding what we are doing and how we have fulfilled that. But I'm struggling to map up where our priorities are, what we are doing, and what what is the gap, and then see what it is that we need to do to fill the gap. And I'm wearing a trade hat here, a trade facilitation hat here, and asking, are we serviced as a continent with the works that we are doing as AFRIMET? And then the last one is, there's a lot of work that's going on around CMCs. How does that translate towards a building capacity of calibration laboratories within our territories, so that service is available to manufacturers and to traders who need access to it? Thank you.
Thank you. Lerato wants to respond.
Yes, thank you very much for this question. Regarding the validity of the QMS approval, as TCQS, we have adopted the accreditation cycle. Like when the lab is accredited for certain parameters, at the end of 5 years, that is no longer valid. They have to be re-accredited. The difference is that on the QMS, we don't do the surveillance maybe after 18 months and the like, but at least once in 5 years to make sure that your system, according to the CIPM MRA guidelines, still speaks to what is required. So that's why we go back and relook at the overall system, like 100%. So thank you.
Thank you. I'll take the last 3 questions. The other questions can be asked during lunchtime or later. Yes, sir.
Okay.
There's a question at the back.
Yeah, I have the mic.
Oh, you've got the, sorry, I didn't see.
Thank you so much. My question goes to Lerato. When she was speaking on the TCQS, she made mention of the quality system. And I'm sure my beloved sister here also raised the issue on the quality management system. Like in Nigeria, the NMI is under the Standards Organization of Nigeria. And the Standards Organization of Nigeria is certified to quality management system by ICOMOS ISOCA of UCAS in UK. And the scope of the certification includes the National Metrology Institute. So we do our regular internal audits, surveillances by the certifying bodies. So when you talked about the approval from the TC for the Q, is it going to be different from what the certification we have? I mean, does the NMI have to go for a different certification or review of our quality manuals by the TCQS? I really need some clarification from there, because every year we do, every 3 years we do revalidations from this certifying body. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Chair. That's a very good question. Firstly, I just want to separate the difference between certification and accreditation. Certification, you said it like it's a program that lasts for 3 years. That process, yes, it is the QMS based on 9001, and then that is only certifying the paperwork, the documents, just to see what you have, the records that you keep. But it is different from accreditation. Accreditation, there is, yes, we look at the system like you have, and then there is a component where we look at the technical competences of the work that is done in the laboratory. The very same work that has the parameters, the capabilities that needs to be submitted in the KCDB. So we can't rely on the work that you do based on 9001 And then if you can look at the current ISO 17025 2017 version, they gave us two options. There's option A and option B. And then there is an option that incorporates what you just said, that if you are a laboratory within an organization that is certified against ISO 9001, what you need to do in that option, you have to implement the technical part. If you can look at the structure, structured into technical and the system part. So the system is there, that will be looked at, but it should meet the requirements of ISO 17025, because there are certain clauses that are in 9001, but not this side on this one. So that one is mainly for the technical competencies of test and calibration laboratories. And if maybe you are to work on the RMPs, the certified reference materials, that one you will be following the requirements of ISO 17034 2016. So in our case here, for us to submit, we need the activity, even though the laboratory are accredited by the accreditation bodies that are the signatories of ILAC, we still need at AFRIMETS level to look at the systems so that be sure and comfortable, and then issue a letter. Let me say we look at that, we identify gaps, we give the NMI or D an opportunity to address those gaps, and then once everything's okay, we issue them with a letter that is valid for 5 years. I think I've covered your question, Madam. The letter is based, like there is accreditation that does that. So now on accreditation, in most cases, we don't duplicate the effort done by accreditation, especially on the technical part. And then to cut the cost and other things, we have also requested that we don't just have to make a different visit out of nowhere. We liaise with the accreditation body to work with them and issue one report. So for the technical, we use the technical reports done by the bodies, the accreditation bodies.
Okay. Ibrahima Smoro, Managing Director of Metrology Côte d'Ivoire. Permettez-moi, parce que depuis ce matin, tout le monde parle en anglais. Je vais commencer par le français et puis essayer d'expliquer, voilà, de dire quelque chose en anglais. Voilà, je m'adresse au président de l'AFRIMETS ainsi que le président du TC Legal Metrology qui est passé tout à l'heure. Il semble que c'est un peu difficile. Bon, je vais aller en anglais directement. Okay, Okay, this morning I heard the president of AFRIMETS saying that when the chair of a TC is English speaking, the vice must be French. But the next TC presenter, he showed us the leading group of the TC, Legal Metrology. But I see that is the president, the vice is Dr. Stigner Bedouado from Ghana. Why no French speaking person? I want to know. And the second question is general. In AFRIMETS, the intercomparison, is it possible for a part of Ghana, Côte d'Ivoire can participate or take part to an intercomparison next time? Is it possible, and how we can do to participate? Thank you.
Okay, that's to maybe starting with Susanna. Thank you for joining us, and I'm sure maybe this could be the first time you're attending. The working groups, they have their work plan on what they are doing. And therefore, it is also meant, because when we talk about CMCs, we are saying their aim is to underpin the services that we're offering. And if you remember yesterday in the presentation that we had about cassava, you saw where we started from. And you've seen in the end game is to get labs accredited and also to have material, a reference material or a PT material that can be used by the labs. So you see, with metrology, you start digging a very deep foundation so that by the time you start going upwards, it's very, very stable. So that's what happens here. When you see any CMCs that is being done, it's actually to support the economy, but you need a very strong foundation. So that's what we do. Maybe it could not be explained here. Sometimes when you go to a club, people use certain short sentences because it's understood by the people in the room. Somebody can just say out. It means I'm going out. It doesn't mean you go out, because that's how they have been doing it. Yeah. But our main goal is to support the labs, also to support the quality infrastructure in the country. Maybe on the issue of what we agreed, we were to take care of the others, but I believe also the working groups, they look at their people here. At the top level, why we have this vice is also to take care of that. But I think the working groups, they can also see how to take care of the other constituency who might be having the language issues. Yeah.
Thank you very much. The last presentation that we will have, it's online, TCAUV. I just want to highlight that we received presentation from TC photometry and radiometry, TCRI. This came as presentations, but I'm not sure. TCRI, are you there online? Because I think the chair said you will be there online. Yes, I know people want to go for lunch. Can we do the two last presentation? We'll start with, oh, you are here physically, sorry. Oh, okay, sorry. We'll start with TCAUV, then we'll come with TCRI, and I think we will be done. The other TCs, they did send the report, the photometry group. Can you present, please, sir? Can you share on Teams?
So, we'll start with the TCPR or?
TCAUV. Is that TC? Yes. Or is TCPR also online? Oh, they are both online. Okay, we'll start with TCAUV, then TC photometry, then TCRI, then we'll close the session. Thank you.
Hello?
We can hear you.
Hello, I'm Tarek, the chair of the AUV. You want me to present now?
Yes.
Yes. The sound is well?
We can hear you very well. You don't have any presentation. You can talk.
Yes, I have a presentation, and kindly let me share my screen. It's okay?
Yes, yes.
Just a second. Can you see my screen? Hello?
Hello. It's coming.
Can you see my screen?
We can't see the presentation yet.
Yes, okay. I will start. Okay?
Yes, yes, please.
First, good afternoon for all the wonderful audience. My name is Tariq El-Bashir, the TCAUV chair. I'm associate professor at the Department of Acoustics, National Institute of Standard Egypt. I took the responsibility of acting as interim chairman from the last April 2025 because my colleague, previous chair, retired, Mr. Ian Veldman from South Africa. And we did the meeting in the last June 2025. And I have the honor to be chair this meeting. So I will now present a short report about the TCAUV activity 2GA. Okay. The Technical Committee AUV Acoustics, Ultrasonic and Vibration interested in all the meteorological work related to the areas of acoustic, ultrasonic, and vibration. We have many areas of importance, such as industrial application, healthcare, or environmental protection. I will show you in the next slides the stakeholder that related to the EUV work. The committee focused on 3 or 4 parts: sound in air, vibration, ultrasonic, and underwater acoustics. So in this slide we can see sound and electromagnetic spectrum. All of us know that the audible range that we can hear starts from 20 Hz up to 20 kilohertz. Under 20 Hz, we have very low frequency range, which is 10 to the infrasound. We have the infrasound with low frequency and long wavelength. So it's very interesting to know that the infrasound can travel long distance. The sources for the infrasound are many. One of them comes from the catastrophe that may happen naturally, such as earthquakes, volcanoes, hurricanes, etc. And above 20 kilohertz, we have the ultrasonic range. In this range, we have many tools for diagnosis of medical devices. International System of Unit, SI unit. We know, all of us know, the 7 SI units. The acoustic pressure is not one of the SI units, it is derived unit. The acoustical pressure, as we can define in sound, as the pressure variation that the human ear can detect. So it takes the unit of Pascal. We have another unit to describe the sound pressure level, which is decibel. It is a logarithmic scale. So decibel equal to 20 multiplied by logarithm P measured over the P reference. Also we have for the vibration, we have the unit of meter over second square. All of us know when any subject at rest, and if an excitation source make it move to any direction, it has a distance, displacement in many meter or in centimeter, even such the unit. This movement over time, we can calculate the we can calculate the velocity, and the derivative of velocity is the acceleration. Okay, now for the sound in air, we have the following topic: primary and secondary calibration of microphones, and the calibration of calibrator, and all the measurement instrumentation. Meteorological instrumentation also for hearing assessment. We have the standard related to the acoustic for the primary, the standard in the red square for the primary calibration of microphone, realization of the acoustic pressure. We have in the vibration, all of us know that there is a sensor for vibration which named accelerometer. So the following, it covers the following topics: primary and secondary calibration of accelerometer, dynamic calibration of laser vibrometer, and the conditioning amplifier, laser interferometry for motion measurement. Yes, we have the standard for vibration, as you can see in this slide. Also, the ultrasound and underwater acoustics, it covers the following topics, which is very interesting in the medical sector and industrial sector. This is in this screen, we can see the standard for the ultrasound and the underwater acoustics. The stakeholder for which the AUV related in health, in industry, in environment, society, academia, and we have marine and submarine. The AFRIMET TCAUV member, we have a little number of members. We have in the screen, you can see in the last map with the orange color, you can see the members of the AUV, and we need to ask Mr. Chairman of AFRIMET and the Executive Secretary to send the invitation for all the MIs around the AFRIMET to come and attend with us, even in the observer, even they have small capabilities, but we need more participants to come to this committee. For the CIBN, we have the Consultative Committee AUV. The Consultative Committee AUV, we have the board, Mr. Chairman, Dr. Gustavo Ribeiro from Paris, the Executive Director from France, Dr. Roman, and we have nations with CTDPO, the IEC and ISO organization. The structure of CCAUV, we have for membership from our technical committee, which is NEMESA from South Africa. Also, we have official observers such as CATS, Kenya, and NES from Egypt. The CCAUV key comparison working group has a lot of members. One of them is in NEMESA, South Africa. This working group study and investigate the key comparison and approves the key comparison that will be held. For the CCAUV strategy planning working group, there is a lot of members. One of them, the chairman of the TCAUV, even from South Africa or now from Egypt. We have in the CCAUV a task and group on digitalization, and you can see the members of this task and group. The next meeting for the CCAUV will be held in next October 2025. In the previous meeting, it was held in 2023. We are represented by NEMESA, Mr. Ian Villiman, and me from Egypt. The international comparison completed and the plan and the AFRIMET comparison. Here in this slide, you can see the finished comparison by AFRIMETS in both fields of acoustic and vibration. You can see the last industry comparison was held between 2022 and 2023. We have a lag of inter-comparison in ultrasonic and underwater acoustics due to the lack of expert, but this problem in all around the world. Okay, here in this slide you can see the key comparison, supplementary comparison for all the RMOs, which one in the progress and which one in the measurement. You can see the left out, so our members can participate in this comparison. In this screen, one can see the key comparison and the pilot studies from the CCAV strategy up to 2033. One can find in this strategy all the key comparisons that will be planned for the future and who will be the pilot. During the last meeting in June, AFRIMETS TCAV, we approved the pilot study for the UNE Turkey business on a project outline of meteorological advancement in low frequency calibration of sound delivery meters, establishing traceability and accuracy standard. It is very interesting point because all of the world now concentrate on the low frequency sound because there is a lack of comparison and lack of CMC published in this range. Regarding the CMC, our AFRIMETS TCAUV represented by a percent of 7.2. It is a good percentage with the other RMOs except the Euromed. Euromed have the large hand due to the apparatus. The CMC already published for Mr. South Africa is 67, for Kenya 17, and for NEST 7 CMC published. In the last year, I found that there is no CMC supplemented for sounding in, for vibration, for ultrasonic and underwater acoustic, but I found the under review CMC from December 2023 is in the it is free. I think I will see what is the situation, and if need reviewer, I will select reviewer for the reviewing of such CMC. We have reviewer database for our technical community EUV. They are highly consultation in the area of acoustic, ultrasonic, and vibration, but we still have a lack in the field of underwater acoustic because in Eastern South Africa only start with this part. Future event which is important and related to EUV is the internoise, which will be held in August, and the SCV, which you already held. The roadmap for the TCEUV based on strategy pillar, 5 strategy pillar. The first one, the regional collaboration and the pilot activity, and it is very interesting because we need to collaborate with the RMOs from outside our area AFRIMETS because they have development and research continuously, so we have to collaborate with them. The second frequency, we need to make workshop on acoustic ultrasonic vibration. What is the next generation in the field of AUV? The third pillar is the inter-AFRIMET cooperation and CMC. We support all persons and members from all around the AFRIMET to publish CMC, to participate, to write the protocol for comparison. We can help. We have a lot of consultation, and me as one of the members, I totally support this point, and I'm ready to give my experience to write the comparison and to help in selecting the service, sub-service, and submitting the CMC. Also, the research, development, and standardization is one of the important pillars of our strategy, because we need some of our members to participate in the ISO and IEC standardization. We have to work together on research and development. For the last, we have the pillar of digitalization and the future of AUV. The sustainability goals related to AUV we have focused on reducing the environmental noise, promoting energy efficiency vibration. Also, we have for the planning of new cities, right? The training needs, regarding the training needs, NISA and the kids want the members need training on the new and the next generation of AUV, such as MEMS microphone, MEMS accelerometer, which has a micro scale. You can put on the tip of your finger. So it is very important to up to date, because the future will be sensors, wireless sensor and optical sensor. Future development, the next generation, as I say, we have a cost optical sensor rather than electro-acoustic sensor. So any change in the refractive index of the medium can change the acoustic pressure of this system. So the next generation, as I said, the extension for microphone calibration in the low frequency. The summary of the last meeting resolution based on the approval of our note, and we have performed election for the chairman, and chairman becoming Tariq El-Bashir from NES, and vice chairman Mr. Volunteer Nimbi from NIMISA. We have also approved the pilot study and approved the training plan and the comparison plan for the next 3 years. Also, we need to give small hints that the update and maintain the peer review database for efficient TMC review. So, the TC chair, we need Dr. Henry, chairman and executive secretary, to communicate with Dr. Ilya Mansawa to inform that I become the chairman of the TCAUP. The date and the place of the next meeting will be with the next AFRIMET GA in 2026. We need to perform a workshop in the next generation of AUV. And finally, thank you. The future of our kids is our responsibility. Thank you so much for hearing.
Thank
Any
you.
question?
Thank you, Doctor. Can we reserve the questions? We just want to rush so that we can go to lunch The questions will be asked in the next session. I will ask TCPR to present, then after that ionization radiation will come and present. Yes, TCPR, are you presenting? Photometry?
So you mean for TCPR?
Yes.
Okay, so now I will share my.
Yes.
So could I share my presentation?
Yes.
Is it okay now?
Yes, we can see it.
Is the presentation okay?
Yes, put it on PowerPoint mode, please. Yes, thank you.
Yes, I got it. Okay now?
Yes, it is okay.
Okay, first, I welcome all members in Parliament. Okay, I am Aladdin Abdulmadin. I act as head of the division of photometry and radiometry at National Institute of Standards, and I elected as TCPR chair since recently at AFRIMET. So in brief, I will it's not good to tell that for the technical committee of photometry and radiometry is not activated in good manner until now in AFRIMET, but we are have some trial to try to make it better, especially with our colleagues in NAMISA, such as Dr. Riesenberger come to visit us and try to activate this working. So on brief, the overview of AFRIMET and AFRIMET comparison and CMCs, and the summary about our laboratory capabilities until now in photometry and radiometry at Egypt and in NAMISA, okay, and continue on. So in brief, this on behalf of the AFRIMET to harmonize methodology activities in Africa, okay, and the NIS is one of the main member in AFRIMET, okay, and we have also for the principal members and also new members. Until now, for the photometry and radiometry, we have about 64 number of CMCs, the technical area, in AFRIMET, 60 of them at NAMSA in South Africa, and 4 only published for NIS Egypt. So for the CMS statistics, this is AFRIMET published CMC. It's mostly in the webinars. The first one from webinars for multi-mode laser source, the other from single-mode laser source, one for optical spectrum and absorption line for gas. In Egypt, on brief, we have photometry and radiometry division, but there is other scope in the lens metrology according to the web. And these 4 CMCs in Egypt is related to the lens lab in Egypt. On the other hand, for NAMSA, as I mentioned before, is about 60 CMC per photometry and radiometry technical area, but mostly they are from since about 2001. So all now we have about, as I told, about 64 number of CMCs and photometry and radiometry, 60 of them at NAMSA and 4 of them at National Institute of Standards. We have some recent trial at NIS, mostly very to be published. One of them, 3 of them now under ADMP key comparison of luminous intensity on the final representation already. Okay, and this is now under review, under revision completed by Arkansas. For the second one, for the first one is luminous intensity. I will explain that later. On the second one from Gauntlet, on the report in progress and draft key. On the third one is bilateral comparison from our colleague in SESH in Europe. This is bilateral comparison. So for the first one, it is mainly in the scope of the luminous intensity. And this is already finished under publication, to be published. The pilot lab is from our colleague in Japan. Okay, it is already finished. The other one, in luminous flux instead of luminous intensity, this is also for the key comparison in luminous flux. On the Pilot Institute is our colleague in Uma and Turkey. The last one that's already finished is bilateral comparison with our colleague in Precious Meteorology Institute. And this is in radiometric scope for spectral irradiance responsibility. This is already the report comes to completion. For the other NIS comparison prepared to be published, there is two comparisons under publications. It's for one term in the spectrum counter, on absorbance scale unit of temperature. On the other one in the wavelength scale, specialized in the volume filter for the wavelength scale. For the three that I mentioned already, it's about from 2022 to 2024 under publication. The last one from our colleague in LEMS lab and LEMS meteorology lab for the OTDR, this is under construction now, and this will fall under fiber optics, which falls under photometry and radiometry, optical time domain, reflectometer, distance and rotation scale, and loss scale for both 1030-10 and 1550 nanometer. And this is between NES and MIDAS and NAMSA in South Africa, run some preliminary measures. And this is underway. So, in the next sections, we will, to summarize our capability in Egypt now. So, one of them in photometry meteorology laboratory. The first thing for the integrated system is concerned with lambda calibration and testing. For the volume center is the same scope of the luminous flux and luminous intensity, but for the luminarity instead of lambda specialized. For the carrier 5000, it's one of the considered as primary standard spectrum center and orbit, so we can from this device can disseminate with the traceability for the transmittance, reflectance, absorbance, and the color coordinate. Also for the system of the laximeter calibration system, it's especially related to illumination. On the other hand, for the radiometry meteorology laboratory, one of the main active now at NIS for the part of solar irradiance calibration system. And now we have one of the biggest solar park around the Middle East now. It's called Belben stations for the solar cell. We made more than 500 biometers now in Aswan. And this is one of the main things that get the spectral sensitivity of the biometer that is related to the part of the detector, one of the main parameters of the spectral responsibility of the detector. Some other primary standards also for the spectral irradiance responsibility in Egypt. Okay, one of the other scopes is now also concerned in the medical view for the part of the phototherapy irradiance system. And they have many activities now around many hospitals, administrations inside Egypt for testing the lambdas of irradiance for the hyperpolarization. For the last lab is the primary lab standard and laser technology laboratory. They have good capabilities So, as I discussed, our technical committee is not activated in good manner, so we will try to activate that, and we make already visit with our colleague, as I discussed, in South Africa. One of them is Dr. Wiesenberger, and we have to invite so most of other countries inside and members in AFRIMET to try to collaborate with us to try to activate the part of the photometry and bathymetry around AFRIMET to try to do that. And especially also for the planning, also in training needs. And finally, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Abel. Oh, I will not pronounce that. I apologize. Thank you very much. I will ask TCRI, sorry. Please come. And this is, thank you very much, Doctor. We will liaise with you because I heard you speaking about Dr. Liesel Berger, and she no longer works at NMISA, but we will communicate with you about that. Yes.
That will mean to try to, yes, I know that she is not now in the NMISA, but I talked about our visit during sometime in Egypt before Corona to try to activate the TCBR. Now I invite for the other colleagues to try to activate because it is not activated in good manner. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So good afternoon. I know I'm standing between you and your lunch, so I'll try to take a maximum of maybe just 5 minutes. So I'll do this presentation on behalf of our TCRI chair, who's Mr. Sibusiso Yozela. So I'll talk about our structure, and then I'll talk about feedback of our recent activities. That includes intercomparison and the current activities and our future developments. And then I'll talk about our activities as AFRIMET TCRI. So currently, our chair is Mr. Sibusiso Yozela from South Africa. I hope I pronounced it well. And then we have Professor Noha from Egypt as the first vice chair. And then from Kenya, me as the second vice chair. So we also have representative in the CCRI committee. The first one is Professor Noha, Dr. Van, and then Professor Ahmed. For diagnostic radiology, we are represented by Mr. Rafue Pepenene from South Africa. And then in terms of our services, we are represented by Dr. Rehan from Egypt. So this year, we held our meeting online on the 22nd of July, 2025. So the countries that were presented were Egypt. 3 members from Egypt attended the meeting. And then from Kenya, we had 2 members attending. We had South Africa, 2 members. We had Ghana, 1, and then we had 1 person from Ethiopia. So Nigeria and Sudan could not attend due to other challenges. Algeria, Morocco, and Tanzania were invited, but were not able to give feedback by the time of the meeting. So moving forward, we will encourage that member countries to try and attend the meeting physically. So I'll give a report of the intercomparisons that were done, recently done in the recent year. We have the first intercomparison that was done by NMISA and NIS under AFRIMETS. And then we have the one for 2016, we have the one for 2017. We have in 2020 with Euromet, and then we have KEBS in 2024 doing with IEA, and then we have NMISA doing 2 with CCIR and APMP. So you can see most of the reports have been received, except for the last one where the draft reports have been issued. So our planned intercomparisons for the coming years, we have the first one that will be piloted by NMISA, that is in 2020. And then 2025 we have NIS Egypt, and then for 2027 we'll have KEBS piloting, and we have another one for NMISA by 2026. So I'll just give our current activities and what are our future plans. So currently for Ghana, they are providing services for radiation protection, and then they are working on an automating project that will include simulation of R&D work. And their future plan is to begin doing therapy calibration and building capacity in neutron, and also do HCD for the lab personnel. Then for Kenya, we are currently installed our personnel monitoring equipment. We've also started the provision of the radiotherapy calibration, and we are currently also working on diagnostic radiology, that is for our X-ray capacity. Our future plans as Kenya is we want to begin the radiotherapy audits, and then increase our scope of accreditation to cover the whole lab, and then we're doing some CMC claim submission. So for South Africa, they're currently working on establishing radon measurement capability, then reestablishing the ISO beam, the narrow beam spectrum, and then establishing the brachytherapy audit methodology. Future plans include benchmarking measurement capabilities in publication of CMCs, and then automation of measurements. Egypt currently working on the primary standards for MN birth, and then research work is ongoing on to improve the capacity about the small dosimetry, and then research on characterization of primary ion chamber. So their future plans include piloting of comparisons, and then publication of CMCs at the KCDB database. So some of our activities, here we've reported majorly on CMCs. We have NMISA recently published, recently submitted some CMCs for publication. Then we have 13 new CMCs that have been done that were under review by the RMO. And then Egypt recently published CMCs to take the total of Egypt CMCs to 4. And from the graph you can see we have NMISA with around 29 published CMCs, 13 which have been submitted for publication. And then we have Egypt with 4 CMCs that have been published. Then we have NMISA again with 12 CMCs, and then we have also KEBS preparing their CMC for publication. So I think that is the end of my presentation.
Thank you very much, Meg Grace. Thank you, colleagues. I know we are hungry. Let's be back at 3:15. Thank you very much.